don't want no gravestone when I go, and you could plant a tree. No gravestone when I go, carving my name for me. You can tell everybody they'll find shelter in the shade as the sun hangs from my branches. My eternal bed is made. When the earth is my bed sheets and my body is a shell, let my rings count the stories that only time can tell. I don't want no gravestone when I go, and you could plant a tree. I don't want no gravestone when I go, carving my name for me. Carving my name for me, yeah. Whatever I should tell, but if you should cut me down, I'll keep you warm by the fire as my embers kiss the ground. Yeah, yeah. I don't want no gravestone when I go, and you could plant a tree. Yeah. Don't want no gravestone when I go, carving my name for me. Yeah, yeah. Carving my name for me.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Czar and the Unknown. I am joined with a special guest today, the queen of cryptids, the Cryptid Huntress herself, Jessica Jones. Hey
What
Jessica,
up, what
thank you
up?
for joining me today.
Hey, Eric. Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is great. Right off the bat, man, Kayla blessed the show, man. Donated $20 for a super chat. Thank you so much, Kayla. That's awesome, dude.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for following us over here, man. I love it. You're the best.
Heck yeah, man. Everybody. Hey, Tanya. Make sure I catch everybody real quick. Demiria, how's it going?
Oh, yeah. Maureen's in here.
Zinja. Yeah. Hey, man. Marine Corps strong, baby. Marine Corps strong. So, we kind of hit about this on your show last night. You know, we're diving into the shape shifting side of it. But in all actuality, what we was talking about last night has a lot to do with shape shifting as well. So that's why I was like, oh man, I would love to have you on with this because it kind of ties everything together. I mean, we can put a nice little closing on this bad boy, I think. But people don't realize, you know, I kind of mentioned this last night. Shape shifting is around the world. And so we're going to hit a few of these. What's your thoughts on these shape shifters?
Oh man, I love talking about shapeshifters. I think that I've encountered some shapeshifters. I mean, we can be shapeshifters actually. Okay, and I'm not talking about not just magical, but you know, I have encountered some shapeshifters in my time for real, and I think out in the field too. I mean, I oftentimes have mentioned the whole spear finger thing that goes on up in the woods where we go do our
Yeah.
bigfooting. Sometimes I do believe that we may have had an encounter with her out there at some point, and she is one of the best known Cherokee legends of a shapeshifter, actually.
Mhm.
So and she appears to be like a innocent little old lady, wandering through the woods, but she's really like a big gigantic demonic demon. Okay, and she likes to go around taking her spear finger and sticking it in the backs of little children and pulling out their livers and eating it for dinner. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's gross, but that's one of my favorite ship shapeshifters down here in the South. But there's plenty of them. I mean, yeah, what we talked about yesterday with the animal human hybrid programs that they have, and I mean, we got into the
Mhm.
how the Clintons had a part in that, and
Mhm.
according to reports, Hillary was actually in charge of the witchy side of that, and the witchcraft side, the demonic side, and she had her hand in teaching people how to conjure and have these, I guess, these soldiers do their shape shifting thing. Okay, so into like werewolves and bear wolves, bears, I
Mhm.
guess. Yeah,
Oh,
it's wild.
yeah. I mean, 'cause in these things, just it's amazing what's out there. And Lord knows, we may be friends with one and not even know it.
Yeah,
We may have passed people and not even known it. Um,
I've
Zen
been
just says, "I
assured.
want to send you guys a link of James Casbolt. He talks about chasing werewolves on an island called Penang. Oh, no kidding. Heck yeah, Bob. Let's do that. Yeah, heck yeah. I'd love that. Vicky, how's it going? Reality, how's it going? Yeah, these things are just. I mean, it's all over. For me, my introduction to it is I'm laughing. My introduction to it was through Norse mythology with Berserkers, Ofanar, the Boar clan, Raven clan. The Norse gods can shape shift. Some of our Dranger could shape shift. I mean, so shape shifting for me that's how I was introduced to it. Of course, I grew up with vampires. Vampires are shapeshifters. Werewolves, shapeshifters. But the thing is, it's not just vampires and werewolves. It's anything. If you have the skin of something, the right frequency, the right connection, you can shapeshift into that stuff.
Yeah, I think I was married to a shapeshifter actually, and I'm
Sorry,
not
my
kidding.
daughter just got home.
Yeah, what up? What up? Yeah, we do talk about S walkers a lot over on my channel, and that type of a shapeshifter. I think there's just different types, of shapeshifters. I've been going pretty heavy on the reptilian shows lately too, and there's a lot of reptilian shapeshifters that are
Yeah.
in our heads of state and government and on TV. I mean, how many times do we
Mhm.
see videos of people's eyes shifting into like slits and stuff, and hearing about how they can be holographic, and I don't know, it's wild. We live in a really strange universe for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's putting it lightly. You know, I had to go through and redo my notes because I thought I saved them last night and I didn't. So I'm missing quite a bit, but we got some of it. Uh, Mainstream science is going to tell you this is the definition of shape shifting. I like to kind of put both in there because some people are on that side of it. In mythology, folklore, or speculative fiction, shape shifting is the ability to physically transform oneself through a natural means. The idea of shape shifting is found in the oldest forms of totemism or shamanism, as well as the oldest existence literature and epic poems such as the Epic of Gilgamesh and Iliad. The concept remains a common literary device in modern fantasy, children's literature, and popular culture. Examples of shapeshifters are vampires and werewolves. Hey, Tanya, this is what my mainstream people, hey, Bolt, tells you what it is. And like I said, I put that in here because I like to contradict mainstream quite a bit, based because I'm not indoctrinated. You know, I got my own mind. I'm not indoctrinated.
You think outside the
So
box.
for us, yeah, for us, it's like I was touching on a little bit ago, frequencies, the right potion, wearing a skin, the right symbols, the right mindset, having the power to be able to do it. You got to be able to physically withstand that transformation. And this is all key to this stuff here. Do or die, Brother Bolt Gun. Do or die. Sorry. I see my Marine Corps calling here. Semper Fi also means Semper Fidelis, means always faithful. So anytime a Marine says Semper Fi to another Marine, you say do or die because you're always faithful. Either you are or you die.
Thank y'all for your service, by the way.
Heck yeah.
We appreciate y'all.
Brother William chimed in. Do shapeshifters exist? I don't know, William.
I don't know. We might know one. We might know one right here.
We might have a connection to one.
I don't know. I've never seen a werewolf and William in the same room together. So I'm just saying.
No. I never thought about that. You're right.
Yeah.
And you never see a vampire.
I'm not saying he's a werewolf, but I don't know.
Ursula says your top is badass.
Thank you. I like this hoodie too. It got cold as heck today here in Georgia. I don't know what just happened. I got in the car, went to the post office, and got back, and we hopped out of the truck, and it was 30 degrees colder. So I bundled up.
Oh, yeah. I made a mad dash to the store because we're expecting to get 10 plus inches here between now and Tuesday. Yeah. It snowed last night. When I went on live with you last night, there was no snow on the ground. When I got off, I went outside. There's snow. I had about a half inch of snow on the ground. It snowed during our live last night.
It was like 70 degrees here earlier today. It was warm, but good thing we have like a, what is that? Like a Dollar General or something. I don't know what that store is down the road. We could walk there if there's an emergency. I'm sure they'd be open if I needed to get something. Oh yeah. Because I don't know. I'm actually pretty prepared all the time. So if there's an emergency, I'm good to go. Okay. But it's always good to have some fresh milk and some fresh bread. Oh, and some toilet paper.
Oh, the girl in your gong. Dude, thank you. You're badass.
That's Maureen and Gus. Thank y'all.
Semper Fi. Edie salute. Semper Fidelis, always faithful. Thank you, sis.
And Maureen, I went to the post office today, and thank you. I got your package. I'm going to hit you up after the show. I just got home, so thank you for the unit, Gus. I got a little surprise in the mail today. Thank you, Maureen.
Oh my gosh! Reality said they got 5 to 6 foot of snow there in Canada.
Oh man!
Heck yeah! I like that. I like that little music when I get to supers.
I'm actually okay with the snow right now because I got new tires. I got like tires with super duper big gigantic tread on it now on my truck. So like I'm down to drive in the snow now. I don't mind it. I don't mind it as long as I don't get snow.
I went to the store because I was like, man, I said, I've got this feeling and I want to make sure I got plenty of food in the house for because I get called into work. I'm working 12-hour days every single day until it's clear. So my daughter will be stuck home here by herself for 12 hours a day. So I was like, man, I'm just going to go to the store real quick, make sure I got enough food to last her. And then while I was in the store, my phone just kept just going nuts. I'm like, what the hell? Look down. My boss was warning us all. So I was like, well, I'm expected to get called in. Hopefully it don't come in until Tuesday when I'm scheduled to go back to work. But this is Missouri.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Just make sure you're stocked up on propane tanks and propane heaters and some propane stoves and things like that, just in case the power goes out. I am so set because I've got all this camping gear, and I even have extra camping gear now because I went over my buddy Bob, who passed away last year. His wife encouraged me and a couple of guys on my team to go. You know, she gifted us some of his stuff, some of his old camping gear, and so I have like 5 camping toilets in the back of my car right now. Like a bunch of, oh my God, I love it. If anybody needs a camping toilet, I'm gonna give them out to my team next week. But I've got all sorts of heaters and all sorts of stuff. So It's good to have that.
I ran out of propane in my big tank, and I ain't got the $550 some odd dollars it cost me to fill the damn thing up right now. Hey, Daryl.
Oh,
So I went and grabbed the small tank off my. Yeah, I went to grab my pop-up one, and it was something somebody had left it cracked open. Somebody messed with it and cracked open, so it all leaked out. So I was at the store today. I was like, yank, we're replacing this one. So I just went in and swapped it when I got some food.
Yeah. It's good to have propane
William said
and kerosene too.
Yep.
Yeah. I think we had a tornado here last night. It was wild. Last night around 3 o'clock in the morning, something hit the side of the house, and it kind of startled me, and I jumped up and I looked out the window, and a huge limb had broken and fallen into the street by the house, and then trees were leaning over sideways. I think we got like a small tornado or something last night. It was wild.
I remember when I was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia. I don't think they ever had a tornado there. And when I was there, me and my ex-wife was driving around the base. And I was like, man, this feels like a tornado. I was in my little two-wheel drive F-150. So I pulled over and looked, and it all settled down. I was like, okay. And I get going down the road, and I'm seeing buildings crushed over, trees pushed over. I said, I thought so.
Yeah.
They had a dang tornado there on Fort Benning when I was there.
Oh my God. No, we have tornadoes all the time in Georgia.
Freaky said,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Cyclone known as Jessica. J. Jones the Cyclone.
But,
oh my God.
I've never known that, because I've never in my life have ever heard, because I grew up here in Missouri. In Missouri, we're in tornado alleys. I mean, we get tornadoes tornadoes hit out here. They'll never hit the news because I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So they don't talk about the ones that hit out in my area. So, I grew up thinking, okay, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, northern part of Texas, places like that's what's getting them. Yeah, I never knew that till I was down there.
When I was a kid, it was pretty common for my mom to come and pull us out of our beds at night, and she'd made like a pallet in our downstairs hallway. So she put blankets and pillows and cushions from the couch and everything down there. It's the only place in our house that didn't have windows, and she shut all the doors to all the rooms, and we would sleep down there pretty often because I lived on a farm, and with a big gigantic lake, and we just had a lot of land, and the tornadoes I think they were attracted to the lake or something. I don't know. Any tornado that came through Georgia hit my house, like it hit right there on our property, and got cows and the lake and everything. It was wild. So like we had tornadoes. I used to see tornadoes all the time when I was a kid. I literally would look out the window and watch tornadoes pass by. It was wild. Super wild. They weren't probably as big as one y'all get out there, but they still came through.
Yeah, my mom used to gather us up and we'd go chase them. We never took shelter. We went and chased them. The only time we ever regretted chasing them, which is actually one of the times I was probably glad we did, is when I lived in the trailer park in Rogersville. A tornado hit, and this is back in the early 80s. A tornado hit and took out our trailer we were living in.
Oh my God, that's so dangerous. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You don't see much of a chance when a tornado hits you in one of those, man. Yeah, tornadoes are scary. Nah. But you know what? I know what they sound like. I know it. I know what the pressure feels like when it hits, and it's like all the pressure gets sucked out of the room. Like this feels like all the oxygen gets sucked out. And so it's an experience. I don't wish it on anybody, but it's still it's like, hey, I've lived through several tornadoes. And
I've been through a ton of them. Interesting. So here's a question. If there's a lot of trees around your house, would it not draw a tornado? Because most tornadoes are in fields and less tree locations are not sure. Man, the only thing that's going to deter a tornado is a ditch or like a plateau. Like Springfield is on a plateau. So Springfield rarely gets hit by a tornado. If you're in one, the best thing to do is go find a ditch. Now, sadly, where I'm at, my ditches are valleys, and I've got trees all surrounding me. So if I go in there, we have trees get knocked down all the time here from tornadoes. I've got probably about 20 years of firewood sitting in my woods right now. Got to get cut up because of the last tornado that came through. So that's something to keep in mind. Hey, Twisted.
They say to get in a ditch, but like you get in a ditch, it's probably going to have a lot of water in it. It's like, oof, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's not
Hey,
a very
Jim.
fun situation if you ever get caught on the road and there's a tornado.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. They say, I mean, you go in your ditches, man. We would chase until it got too bad. Then they would then we'd run and get in the ditch somewhere.
You have
So,
no fear. That's why you have no fear. You were chasing
I
tornadoes when you
love
were a
this.
kid.
Dude, I still like it. It's so much fun. I've seen some wicked crap chasing these things. Come on, baby, load up for me. Trying to get the first picture loaded up and it's being a stubborn butt. My computer's, I gotta get a better, bigger, better computer.
I like
You
the
can
picture you
believe
did for the show tonight. That gladiator werewolf, that is badass. I like it.
Oh yeah, I made that.
You had the video too
I
for
made that.
the reel. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I actually made that when I did a werewolf show. And so what I did a little bit ago, I was like, oh man, I forgot to make an intro for this. So I went through and animated it just for the show. And so that's what that. Oops. That's what that is he's a Roman lycanthrope, and but it was made from when I did that show. I made that all on that program that I use, and then I just went through on this new software and animated it for the show. I had to do it twice. I had to 3 times. I had to work on it because it wouldn't animate the way I wanted it to, and I got what I got. The first one I want to kind of talk about comes from Scotland and stuff. Is silkies. You know what a silky is?
A silky? Is that like it's something? Yeah, it's in the water, right? It's called a silky.
Yeah.
Is it like a mermaid?
She is. Yeah. Well, she in a way she's a seal. She's a seal that can transform into a beautiful female, as you see in here.
Oh,
these
cool.
are silkies. So they go from seal form right here into this here, and they have to have a skin to be able to do it. And so silkies are Scottish fairies who, in the natural form, look like seals. They have the ability, however, to take on a human form and walk the land. They accomplish the transformation by removing their skin. The majority of the stories about silkies have to do with females coming ashore, shedding their skin, and having to walk on the beach only to find themselves trapped into marrying a man. The silky females in the in their human form look exquisitely beautiful women. Without their skin, however, they cannot change back into seal form.
Oh God.
In folklore, human men catch silky wives by hiding the skin in the inn, and it doesn't really pay off. No matter how long the silky is married to a human, and no matter how many children they have together, she will always yearn to return to the sea and constantly will search for her skin. Once she finds it, she will leave her husband and children without a second glance. And then they're lost to the seas of time, basically.
Oh dang, that's why. That's wild. So yeah, there's some like lotion commercial or something. It's like adore the skin you're in. And she's got that's just really wild.
I actually found these a few years ago when I was researching mermaids, because these popped up as a type of Scottish mermaid. But in all actuality, they are shapeshifters. So that's why I had to put them in here. So, I mean, even though, technically they're a type of mermaid, according to Scottish folklore,
but
they are shapeshifters because they can transform. But they can transform into human, too.
A shapeshifting seal, though, that's wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised I haven't covered these yet. That's really interesting. And imagine, I don't know, so they can't shapeshift back into a seal after they go to the land, and they have to marry a man. You said they have to?
No, so they can't shapeshift back if they don't have their skin. That's why that's why the men
are stealing them?
hide the skin.
Those bastards.
The men will hunt them and steal them,
Yeah.
to have wives and have children with them. And then once that's done, they hide the skin.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're fae. Yeah, they're
fae. Yeah. Okay. Well, they can. I'm sure they take vengeance out on those men at some point if they're the fae. They could be.
No,
or maybe they enjoy it. I
gather
don't know.
their skin and go back to the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just once they find their skin, they just return to the ocean.
Yeah.
So
find
reality check says, what would reality check said, what would you say is the most dangerous shapeshifter? Man, I'd have to say that's a tie between a vampire and an SW. Honestly, one of them two is probably ones for me personally.
Yeah, I think werewolves could be pretty ferocious too. I'm sure. I mean, Spearfinger, for instance. I mean, that's just a demon roaming around in an old lady's body. Okay, so they're all pretty bad. As far as being ferocious, I don't know, something that could tear you to pieces. Vampires and werewolves, right? Yeah. Oh
yeah, man. I mean, in all honesty, yeah. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, SW scares me more than an actual werewolf does. But I mean,
yeah. Well, they can walk through walls. That's just because of all the crap. Yeah.
So can Draugr. Draugr, which is a Norse zombie. Technically, a Draugr is a Norse zombie / Norse vampire. Okay, but they can go through walls. They can go through rock. They enter your dreams. I mean, these things are just pure freaking evil.
Well, what happens?
They're not shapeshifters. I mean,
if you fire a bullet, let's just say at it, okay, let's say like a 50 cal or something big, is it going to just go right through it and not harm it? If it can go through walls, I mean, or can you take it down? What do you think?
You can kill them. Yeah, basically take their head off. You take their head off, just like vampires. A lot of people don't realize that. If you study how to take out a vampire or a werewolf, one of the most common ones is taking the head off. You're taking the head off, burning the body. They'll even tell you have, like, for a vampire, have a werewolf friend, or if for a werewolf, have a vampire friend. I mean, it's all this type of stuff can do it. They're not immortal, like Holly Scrooge tells you.
I'm glad that I have werewolf and vampire friends to protect me. They like me so far, and I know I try not to call them out too often, but I do have vampire werewolf friends. Kenny, and he's my werewolf friend, and we got Nighthawk here. We got William. He might be my werewolf friend.
Yeah. William, I didn't know about seals and mermaids. I didn't understand. I didn't know that. Yeah, in Scottish folklore, a silkie is technically a type of mermaid, is what they call it. But that's interesting. I need to look that up. Spearfinger is not to be made light of. Demons are here. Trust me. Oh God, yeah, William. Ain't no joke. Right.
She's the most feared, and that's why. I mean, I have literally almost felt sick when I was in the woods late at night. We had no lights on us. Purposely didn't take any flashlights, no headlamps, and all I could hear. There was one night I kept hearing a tapping on a tree. It was like tap 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 tap, and in my mind's eye, I was seeing Spearfinger in the environment. Like, I was seeing her there, and I know it was my imagination running wild. I'm sure it was, but at the same time, I was like, "Oh, I bet that's Spearfinger." Let's get out of here. There's Spearfinger. Tap 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 tap. Yep, I kept hearing that.
Yeah, no, I mean. I'd be like, hey, shit, stage left. I am not dealing with some old ancient magic, thing.
I respect it.
I don't have the stuff to protect my territory. Yeah. Merfolk. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I love you too.
William says, love you, dear friend.
Thank you. I can take all the protection. I need all of it. Thank you. I protect you too.
Oh my God. I forgot to. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay. Next one. This is one that people technically classify as a dogman. And I'm not one that puts these on the Dogman list because there's too many stories from Africa talking about these things. And that is a were hyena. These are very common in Africa.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. They look like a hyena, but it's bipedal, right? I guess they can go down on 4 legs too.
It can do both. Hey, Val.
This reminds me.
Melissa, I'm sorry.
That reminds me of the hyena type dogman. I think Ryan Tremblay actually said that's the type that he saw. He had an encounter with. Those are pretty common from all of the research and the interviews I've done with people. Those seem to be pretty common.
Yeah, and that's the thing is a lot of people put that in the dogman category. I can't do it because these things date back to really early Earth history parts of Africa is where these things are from.
They're not dogs.
So,
hyenas are not dogs.
I don't know.
When you said that, I thought, can I pet that dog? I don't know why I thought that.
Can I pet that dog? I get that southern drawl. You can't pet that dog.
Pet that dog.
I missed the comment. It's good to see you here, Patricia.
There's actually another werewolf type. I want to say like a werewolf, but it's a shapeshifter out of South Africa. It's actually all over Africa. I think South Africa is kind of the main area that they find these. But it's almost it's through black magic, I do believe. There's something called I think it's called the Kishi down there, and that is actually it looks like a human. It's a human man. They're always men, and it's a human man. And he usually has long hair, long dreadlocks, right? And they go around and they woo the women. They go and they're all Rico Suave, okay? And their victims mostly are women. And what happens is they woo the woman, and as they're going in for a kiss, his head switches, okay? And on the back of his head is actually a hyena's face. And it switches, and the hyena face goes and it bites the woman and eats her. The face is just hiding in his dreadlocks, basically. So she gets attacked by where it's kind of a shapeshifter, but it's just always there though. So I don't know if that's actually a real shapeshifter because the face is always back there. It's just hiding in his dreadlocks. But I always considered it a shapeshifter, but I'm not sure if that's a shapeshifter or not. But
I believe because I remember I've done something on that once before. And I can't remember all my notes on that because I've only looked over it once, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But I want to say they're permanently like that. I can't remember if it shapeshifts back and forth or not. It's been a while since I looked it up. But if that's the case, I don't know if that'd be more of something like supernatural, I would think. But I could be wrong. I don't remember my notes on them.
I think it's got some. I think I did a remote viewing target on it. Barry gave me that as a blind target one time, and we did a show on it. And yeah, it's just you have to look it up. It's the Kishi out of Africa.
Kishi, yeah, I remember something. Yeah. I was actually looking in here, kind of when you was talking about that. It's like I wonder if I remember to put those in my notes, but it don't look like I did.
It's a face eater, yeah, just like the Gugwe. Okay. Yeah. And we had face peeler aliens down in South America last year too, right? Has nothing to do with shapeshifting, but
no. I think I remember.
A lot of things will eat your face.
I think somebody was talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Too many things will eat our face, including bath salt people too. Down in Florida, be careful. Yeah. Streets are crazy.
Yeah, no kidding. Nice canines that never attack nobody mysteriously do too. Hey, Big Island. Oh man, Big Island, Pakalua Training Area, PTA. Spent a lot of time. Spent a lot of time on PTA, Pakalua Training Area. So in here, I've got down here in Somalia. It is traditionally believed that the Kori is Maris, one who rubs himself with a stick, was a man who could transform himself into a Hyena-man by rubbing himself with a magic stick at nightfall, and by repeating the process could return to his human state before dawn. In Ethiopia, it is traditionally believed that every blacksmith whose trade is hereditary is really a wizard or witch with the power of changing into a hyena. These blacksmiths wear hyenas are believed to rob graves at midnight and are referred to as a Buddha, also spelled Buddha, Buda. They are viewed with suspicion by most countrymen. Belief in the Buddha is also present in Sudan and the Tanzania, as well as Morocco, where some Berbers regard them as man or woman who nightly turns into a hyena and resumes human shape at dawn. Many Ethiopian Christians criticize Ethiopian Jews as being a Bauda, accusing them of unearthing Christian corpses and consuming them. The commune, blah blah blah. The deal with blacksmith are traditionally professional. Our profession for Jews men in Ethiopia may be a reason for the connection between the two beliefs. In the Kanuri language of the former Bornu Empire in the Lake Chad region, where hyenas are referred to as Boltengin, which translates into I changed myself into a hyena. It was once traditionally believed that one of the villages in the region was populated entirely by were hyenas, such as Kabul, any such person is called a nagdaza. In folklore and Western Sudanic peoples, this is a hybrid creature, a human who is nightly transformed into a cannibalistic monster that terrorizes people, especially. I think I'm on a different one.
Well, it's still terrifying. That's really scary.
Yeah.
They eat dead people.
Nope, this is the same one. Okay. Terrorizes people, especially lovers. The creature is often portrayed as a magically powerful healer, blacksmith, or woodcutter in human form, but recognizable through signs like hairy body, red and gleaming eyes, and nasal voice. Members of the Kori cult of the Bambara people in Mali, which means become, hyenas by imitating the animal's behavior through mask and role play. These are evocated. These are the ones that turn into hyenas. Revealed habits, and they also be used more to evoke fear among the participants, leading them to avoid such habitats and traits in their own lives. So we're seeing a very common connection here. We know the SWs, Ulfanar, Berserkers, all this stuff. It's the same thing. They either got a mask or a skin on, a chant. Just like we was talking at the beginning of the show, and we're seeing this is very common amongst all these. This is all these African tribes talking about this.
It's worldwide.
So I mean, for me, that's just really, yeah. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss a whole bunch of comments here. King Arthur said, "Yeah, connections." Yeah. So that's why I like this stuff like this, because people focus mainly on what we talk about here in the U.S. and they don't realize these things are all over. It's not just U.S. It's not recent. This is long history of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, back in the 1500s in Europe, they were having the werewolf witch trials. I mean, it was like the beast of Bedlam. Hold on, I can't remember what it was. The beast of Bedlam or something. I think it was his name. I can't remember, but it was it was a man that would shapeshift into a werewolf, and he went on like unaliving sprees, and I don't know. He claimed to be a cannibal at some point. He was basically a serial killer. Okay, but that was pretty common back then. You know, for people to do that, and or people to be accused of it at least, to be burned at the stake for it. But yeah, and he actually put on a pelt of some sort too, if I remember correctly. He put on something around his waist, I think. I guess some kind of animal skin he would put on and shift.
I think he had a belt, didn't he?
He had something. I think it was a belt. That's right. It was a belt. Yep. It was definitely a belt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I remember little bits of that story, man. And once again, I mean, there's something else that's worn that's got magic attached to it. You know, it's a common reoccurrence amongst all these stories you hear about these shapeshifters. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions here. If I missed a question, I'm sorry. Put it back in the chat, and I'll get to it as soon as I can.
I saw that question, Corey, about the cemetery. It shouldn't affect my remote viewing, by the way, because that's not the target.
Dude, chill out.
Okay. Did you just get attacked by a dog?
Dude, he just stopped.
Werewolf? A hyena?
Got too excited and jumped through my desk, through the bottom part of my desk, and landed right on my foot.
Was that a were chihuahua? I'm just kidding.
No, it's a were freaking black lab bird dog, pain in the butt mixed dog. Is what he is. Oh my gosh. Well, he's excited. Yes, he's been gone for a couple of days, staying at a friend's house. So he's like excited. Hey, she's home. You know, so he gets to being him. So he literally jumped through. I have like little bees at the bottom of my desk. He jumped through those and landed right on my foot. That's kind of hurting right now. I was like, you turd. Hey, lay down. Time to calm down. Lay down. You need to be a good boy. You pain in the butt. You're lucky I like you. I would sell you off to the highest bidder. Turn you into dog food. Huh? Turn you into a hot dog? No. Yeah, okay, man, it's not about you, dude. It's about me.
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog? All right, now get down. Come on, you're too big. You can't crawl up in my lap like that. Get down. Sorry, guys. 9.
They need their own show. You should do a show with just your dog sometime. They deserve it. They would be stars. Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, dude, I hate hearing that, Urso. That sucks, man. I hate losing mine.
Oh, sorry, Urso.
Hey, Honest said I found a novel in 1888 in the bookstore about a wealthy man that had a werewolf partner. It was written like it was was normal in the old world. So believe it or not, there's not really a whole lot of werewolf encounters in England. One of the oldest ones, though, is where a man went to a fork in the road. And this was written back in the medieval times, if I remember correctly. He went to a fork in a road and made a deal with Lucifer to take on the wolf. That is like one of the oldest ones in England.
Oh, he went to the crossroads, huh? Made a deal with the devil. Wow.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea there. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a long period in England where people were getting executed for being werewolves. The werewolf witch trials.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of people died over that, men and women.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Zinja, the Man in the Iron Mask. Is that the one you're talking about? Which is a lot. That's a whole show in itself right there. That is a strange circumstances right there. Got you, chihuahuas. I lost my train of thought now. I got attacked by a vicious dog here, all live on TV. The Nagul. Okay, that's where I was. Nagul. These are Mesoamerican shapeshifters called the Nagul. And these are where your feline type shapeshifters come from Mesoamerica, the Nagu.
Feline. That looks like a primate or something. That's wild.
Looks like a
It does look a
werewolf to
cat.
me, but
It actually looks like a
yeah.
cat in the face. You know, I've noticed on that movie that or it's actually a video thriller by Michael Jackson. You know, he turns into a werewolf,
yeah.
but he is actually a
Mhm.
cat. It's like a cat
Yep.
werewolf. Even his eyes have slits and everything. He's more
Oh,
cat-like
man.
than he is wolf-like. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. And I remember that because I remember looking at a kid going, that looks like a big old putty tat. That
It
don't look like
does.
no wolf. That ain't no dog. It's a putty tat.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, man. Yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but there is feline type of werebeast, and they're predominant in Mesoamerica. Actually, DA wrote about it in one of his books. Operation Blood Eagle, I think, is, if I remember correctly, was the one. It was in that one there, which I have been kicking around doing some in one of mine later on, because I'm always thinking ahead on my next books for like my series. And so Grimson, I've been kind of working on that for about a little over years, trying to figure out how to get Grimson to battle some werecats. I think that'd be funny, messing with them. Can I pet that kitty cat? You know.
Can I pet that cat?
Yeah. Actually, that Lyran cat sounds familiar, Zinja. It really does. I think that is the ones for like the game Elder Scrolls. They have a cat race that they're based off of those, if I remember correctly.
Like Cats the musical.
Yeah, it is rare.
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Mr. Mistopheles. Yeah, you know, it was wild. Barry Littleton had given me a remote viewing target of a place that was thought to be a cryptid or anomalous species containment facility where they held like ETs and cryptids and all sorts of stuff. And it was one of those blind targets. I didn't know what in the world it was. And as soon as I got into that session, I immediately made contact with a cat being, like a Lycan or some kind of feline extraterrestrial or something, and made contact with it. So it blew him away when I gave him the data. He was like, "What?" He said, "This is real. This is all real." So I think there are some that are being held in some kind of facility around here on this earth, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, I get. I mean, of course, my weird freaking way of thinking is like, do they get hairballs like regular cats do? I mean,
That's what they're
can
licking
you imagine
themselves.
them trying to attack something?
Yeah. I don't know.
They say that, lions are peaceful to help humanity. Yeah, I remember. That's what I've heard too, Zinja. What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was joking around. I was like, do werewolves chase their tails? Or like dog men? I don't know. Werewolves have tails. I don't know, though. I don't know.
That's it. The Khajiit in Skyrim. Yeah, they're in all the Elder Scrolls, if I remember right, Cable. Yeah, that's it. I think those Lyran or the Khajiit are based off of the Lyrans, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but I think I've seen something on that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, come on, stupid thing. Reality says, when I was a small child, I used to tell my mother I was from a cat family in a previous life. She must have thought I was crazy or had quite the imagination. Yeah, I could see that because, I mean, back even when I was a pup, I mean, you just didn't talk about that stuff. I'm not putting that one up twisted because I'll end up being me and I can't do that live. I just completely lost myself when I seen that comment because that's a joke that's amongst a lot of my motorcycle friends and me. I know regular friends too. Moose says, I'm a cat man do. But yeah, no. these things are interesting. I've got to do more research on these Nagul because I ran across them when I had an idea for a future big book from Saga Grimson. No worries, Twisted. But these things are in Mesoamerican, the Toltec spiritual traditions. A Nagul refers as a human being who can cross with spiritual power through transformation or deep connection with their tonal to now counterpart. This ability is not merely about shape-shifting, but also about guiding spiritual development and fostering personal transformation by bridging the physical and metaphysical realms. So you're seeing a kind of a similar take on it, but a little different here as well. But it's the concept is the same. Either way, it's still dealing with the same.
Yeah, a lot of witchcraft going on here, a lot of magic.
Yeah, it really is, and all my study on shape-shifting, it all comes down to the core root of it is magic. Every bit of it. The magically created werewolves is the exact same as these were-hyenas, these cats, these bucks, these boars, these bears, these ravens, all this stuff. I mean, I was talking earlier, the Norse gods can shapeshift. Odin was known to transform into an eagle. He was known to transform into an old crippled man. I mean, he was known to transform into a snake. I mean, the gods were able to shapeshift. And once again, there's magic, which is Hugr, but magic, once again, that's involved with dealing with the shapeshifting, even on the sides of the gods, not just mortals, but for them as well.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking as you're saying that is that we were talking about the U.S. programs in our military that we were talking about last night, where magic was being used along with like DNA, CRISPR splicing, and all that kind of weird stuff to inject these special forces soldiers with these different DNAs of lions, bears, and what was the other one, wolves. And then they were being paired up and dropped all over the world, 17 of them here in the U.S. And so, but the whole magical aspect where we brought up the fact, or I want to say fact, I wasn't there. Okay. But they say that, the Clintons had something to do with that. And Hillary was the one that was teaching them how to do the spell casting for it. And that each of the caves, in case your audience didn't hear this last night, these are in national parks where I do a lot of my Bigfoot and Dogman research, by the way. At these national parks, you could tell, you knew where they were living in these pairs of these shapeshifters, basically, because on the front of each cave where they live they have a pentagram on the front of the rock as you go in to their cave. So that's how they knew where they were living. But pentagram, we talked about that last night. That's a magical symbol, right?
Yeah. No. Fire water. I have to wait till it pops up here. I love that. That's why I love this platform. Let me get it back up here. Firewater, thank you so much. She gave us a $10 super sticker. It says, "Greetings, love, and lightly, y'all. Where is Parrot Dog? Parrot Dog is asleep on the pillow, soaking up the heater at the moment."
That's so sweet. Thank you. That's awesome.
You're badass. Thank you. All right, man, if you guys missed it, Firewater put out a video. She's home today, and her little pet squirrel, Dumpling, as I call it, came up and greeted her, had missed her, and so she has got a video on YouTube of her being home, blessed with her pet squirrel.
Oh my God, that's adorable. That's adorable. I love it. I wish I could get a pet squirrel. My dog wouldn't take so well to that. I don't think.
No, mine wouldn't even.
No, my friend Kenny, Star Fox, he's got a pet squirrel too. He does. I feed the squirrels every day. I'm out there feeding them. I could have a pet squirrel if I wanted one. If I didn't have a German Shepherd.
Hey, Deidre. Yeah, it's he like baby kitty. She's like the best hunter out of the cats. She's always coming in with field rats. And if he catches her outside with the field rat, he'll steal it straight from her and scarf that thing down in one bite.
Oh God, we actually have a cat. We have 2 cats that live in the neighborhood, like next door cats, and they just sit around and stalk all the birds. I feed the birds pretty much every day, and I have tons of bird feeders all over the yard and stuff. But those cats is like a heyday. They love it. They stalk and they eat all. They try to grab the birds and chipmunks and whatever mole. I found dead moles in the yard. Anything they can find, they're like the ultimate predator over here. So, yeah.
Well, boar here likes to chase birds and jump in the air after them.
That's funny. My dog barks at birds. I'm like, you're never going to get it. They can fly away, and you're on a leash, girl. So, yeah.
I like this. Marion says, I feed squirrels. Don't tell Gus.
A little jelly.
Yeah. Birds are here to come eat the cat food. I can see that. I think we had some. Hey, Bounty. Maybe the human raises their energy enough that the supernatural spirit entity, whatever you all call it, blend and mix together, takes both. Also, a permission or deal. Maybe that is a good possibility. I can't dispute that because of what's involved with doing that. That is, you know, Native Americans will tell you have a spirit animal within you, a spirit guide, right? Is this part of it? I don't know. That I can't answer. But I can't see it not being a realm of possibility. I watch my bobcats hunting birds and rabbits. It's pretty entertaining. It is until they come after my chickens.
That would be so cool.
I can see you doing that, William. I can.
He even jumps up in the air. Werewolves chasing birds.
But
I can dig it.
Heck yeah, man. So these Nagulism involves the belief that each person possesses a dual aspect. Oh, I read that part already, didn't I? No, it's difficult to say precisely when the story of the werewolf first developed. The twins, Romulus and Remus. Oh, my God. I am way behind. Hold on. We are moving on to, and like an idiot, I forgot to put a picture of that.
I just talked about Romulus and Remus this week on my show when I had my friend Bryce on. We talked about the Georgia S. Walker. She's experienced at least 2, and I've experienced at least 1 in North Carolina. Legit. And so we talked about that, and we both are very familiar with Rome, Georgia. And on the courthouse steps, they have a statue of Romulus and Remus suckling from the she-wolf.
Yep.
So they were raised by a she-wolf, when they were babies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
they're the founders of Rome.
Rome, Italy. Yes. Yeah. Interesting story. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love that stuff. You know, and of course, in Romans, you get the lycanthropy, and that's from King Lycan being cursed by the gods for feeding the gods human flesh, which they transformed him into a wolf, which is
That's
where
awesome.
this here comes from. That's the backdrop for today. But you can the reason why I like this one a lot, because you can still see this is very common amongst the magically created werewolves, where you got I forgot you can't see my mouse. I have to go over here to do it. The human skin with the furry upper part, the furry groin, which is hard to see in this picture, and then kind of like the human skin legs. But you got the torso, still got a lot of human. You can see hair on them, but it's not predominant. It's mostly up above. And this is very common on a depiction of a magically created werewolf. And that's why I like that picture. Turned out great.
That is really realistic. That's ultra realistic. I need to figure out what kind of AI you're using, because mine never turns out that good.
I use Midjourney.
Midjourney. You told me that before.
I use Midjourney.
I need to get on that one.
Yep. I use turn my space heater off. Sorry, I'm starting to sweat. I use Midjourney to create my artwork. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to use that. I need to start using it. I was going to tell William, I have cryptid field research team members in South Carolina. If you've got something, some of the guys on my team, like Terry Wendell Those over there, Don Tart. If you've got something going on out there, I could pass it along for you if you need me to. And
Yeah. So get with message her, William. Let's get them
yeah,
taken care of
you
her.
can send it to me. I've got other friends
like
out there
Eddie
too.
wants.
Robbie Raines lives out there in South Carolina
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there. He's a
Yeah.
cop.
He's 5'0".
He's a popo.
I think,
Yeah.
I think I was telling him one day we were joking around. I was like, "You can't catch me, Copper."
Oh my god. Hey, I've pretty much basically taken off running with Robbie before, okay? When we didn't run. We never run. But we were walking briskly out of where we were because we got surrounded by something that wasn't Bigfoot. And it was not a good feeling. And yeah, it was a little scary. Yes, message me, William, for sure. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't run. I'm a screamer. I'm not a runner.
We didn't run. We didn't
I could
run.
waddle. I'm a screamer. And actually, that's what I love. When we're talking about Romulus and Remus, that is the story is just unique on that happens, and they're not the only ones that has a history of being left out in the wild, and a she-wolf took them in and raised them. I mean, they're one of the oldest stories about it, but there's other cultures around the world that talk about it. Oh, Fenrir. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, Fenrir. Oh, Fenrir. Yeah, Fenris the wolf. Fenrir is that is a whole nother deal right there. Yeah, he brings about Ragnarok in the fall of Odin. Fenrir's he's not good peoples. Top of the hour. Thank you, Roxanne. Give me 1 second. See, I did Dark Angel Medical last night. So let me do, if I can find my deal.
Oh, do I have time to go grab a drink? Go get a soda?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn my camera off for a sec. I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, if I can find my deal here. I transferred everything to my external hard drive, so now I've got to go through and figure out where I put everything at because I was trying to make my computer run quicker. And I actually forgot about having this ready. Okay, where did you go? I may just have to do one of DA's because I can't find one of mine. Okay, I'll just do one of DA's because I can't find one of mine.
Something with amber eyes is lurking in the darkness. It can creep around on all fours. It can also creep around onto a cryptid horror series from the brilliant mind of D.A. Roberts. Murders by Colin Rampage in the series called Apex Predator. Find these books and so many more on Amazon under D.A.Roberts or DARoberts.net.
So, like DA and me, if you go to Amazon, for him, you type in D.A.Roberts. You'll find his books on Amazon. For me, it's like E.D.Testerman. And yeah, I did that just for you, Roxanne, by the way. You'll find his books there. You can also find DA on YouTube at DX Machina. So go over there, give him a follow. Look for his books, look for mine. I don't know what I did with my book commercials. That was kind of weird. I actually do not know what happened to them, so I got to figure out where they went because I put everything on my external. So go over and give them a check out, man. And
That is so cool of you to do that, Eric, to do commercials for them. That is very sweet of you to do that, man. That's super awesome. Good looking out for your buddies. I love me some DA and all them.
Yeah, I don't. I just do it because I like trying to help people. I put people before I put myself usually.
That's because you're freaking awesome. That is just awesome. I love that.
Romulus and Remus. Okay, thank you. I had lost track of what I was thinking for a second. It is difficult to say precisely when the story of werewolves first developed. The twins Romulus and Remus had been suckled by a she-wolf, and so the idea of human-wolf hybrid was integrated into Roman psyche from an early date. Shapeshifters were quite common in Greek and Rome mythology. The metamorphosis from human to animal often occurred as a direct result from the divine punishment, the gods, or condemning an individual on the basis of pride, boastfulness, or blasphemy. Pliny the Elder described the lycanthropic shape shifting of the man into a wolf form by the gods following an act of cannibalism. Early in the 1st century AD, the Roman poet Ovid wrote Metamorphosis, in which King Lycan, from whom we got the name lycanthrope, offered the gods by serving them human flesh. His punishment was being transformed into a wolf so he could continue his disgusting eating habits. And that's where you're going to find the oldest one in the Roman side of it.
Ew. So he had to eat humans. He liked the taste of flesh. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, so that's on them, which I'm done with the note side of it. Finally. Trying to get this set up for my next one, because the rest of it I don't need notes. It's stuff I know, and that's dealing with Norse side of it. What do you think so far? You got any? Oh, come on, you stupid thing! On the stuff we've talked about so far.
Yeah, no, this is all right up my alley. I love talking about werewolves, and I absolutely love it. I mean, we talk about the difference between dogmen and werewolves and stuff. Of course, werewolves, I personally believe werewolves shapeshift. Okay, I think that's the difference. It's a big difference. They're humans to wolf humans, wolf men and women.
The magically.
Yeah, it's magic. It's all magic, and so I'm all about it. Okay, I don't want to do it myself. Okay, but I think it's interesting, and like I always like to say, I was told that I do have werewolves watching my shows and stuff. So they walk amongst us, and so it's cool to learn about them.
Heck yeah. I mean, I believe they do too, and that's why I always say there's a difference between a magically created werewolf and a natural born werewolf, and the natural ones is what we call dogmen. They're not shapeshifters, whereas the ones we're talking about tonight, what we consider werewolves nowadays, that's all made by magic. They are in themselves a shapeshifter. I mean, even the Romans and a lot of in your Native American cultures and a lot of other cultures around the world will talk about there is groups of people that are dog-headed people, and they're that way 24/7. Hence the term natural. And then you get the ones that are cursed or have been cursed or took the curse upon themselves freely to become what they are. And that's where we deal with that.
Yeah.
Come on, load up, baby. You can do it. Here's one of your favorite ones. You can't put your skin on, but Berserker.
Oh. I love Berserkers. I do have a bear skin here. I guess you've seen it. Remember, didn't I? You and I did a show on that together. And when I saw you for the first time before we went live, I had my bear skin on. It was really funny, but my dog was going nuts, so I had to take it off. My dog hates that thing. She hates it. My other dogs hated it too. My dogs before her, they hated it. I've always had to put it away because I can't bring it out because of them.
Zinja, I've heard stories, but that's not a common thing I've heard in my studies, but I have heard that with full moons, eclipses, and stuff like that. In all actuality, most of the stuff you find when you dig into it, they can do it whenever they want. It's all about a certain potion they drink, a chant that they do, symbolism, either a symbol on the wall, skin on the body. That is where you're going to find them most commonly. But there is stuff in the past talking about it, which is where that came from.
Yeah, watch out for
Yes.
caves when you're in the national parks that have pentagrams on them. Please don't go in those caves. Don't. You're going to probably end up face to face with a werewolf or two.
Right. Reality, when it comes to dogmen, the only one that I know that actually has a historical telling of where they come from is Native American lore. Every culture talks about having a tribe of them, but the only ones that talk about their existence is Native Americans, and they are known as one of the elder big brothers, one of the first beings. The dog, what we call dogman, a natural werewolf, has been here longer than humans. Then you get the other side of it, where they tell you they are an alien race that came here to Earth. So that is the other one. But far as our history goes, and the cultures, the oldest one talked about is in Native American lore. Make sure I ain't missing any more questions. Oh man, I've done diesel mechanics for a long time. I do, and I do not miss them. Jessica would be great. Morning Paranormal Weekend Coffee Talk host. Oh, yes, she would. Yeah, William.
I do like to tune into you guys and have my coffee and listen in.
Okay.
I always learn something from y'all. I always learn something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Berserk. Okay, well, we're getting ready to talk about the Berserkers, and then we'll talk about the Ulfanar next. These are my favorite. That's only because of my bloodline. You know, I hail from Ragnar Lothbrok through Ivar the Boneless. But so, I mean, I've got the Danish side, and then the blacks, you know, they came straight from Norway to here, which is my Norse side. I claim a lot Norse, but technically, if I want to be technical, even though we're all the same, basically, I'm Danish and Norse.
You know, I'm Viking as well.
Yeah.
Actually,
Mhm.
I'm a direct descendant of Rollo, actually. So
Rollo the Betrayer.
right.
That's the only Rollo I know from history is Rollo the Betrayer.
I don't know. That's what our family tree says. He was my grandfather way down the line. Okay. So
It's got to be another one.
yes.
Because
I'm here to clean that up.
Bone
Hey.
Heck
I'm here to clean that up, Grandpa. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's if you ever actually study about, I'll have to find out which Rollo you're related to.
It was
Like
King
I said, the only
Ragnar's
one I know
brother,
about is Rollo the
that one.
Betrayer.
It's Ragnar's brother. Yeah.
Hey, cuz.
We're cousins.
Hey, cuz. We'll fix you right.
Cuzzo. Yeah.
Roxanne, could dogman be a werewolf that cannot change back? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at on the natural born side of it, Roxanne. Fact that they stay that way 24/7. Yeah, and Tanya, good to see you. Yeah, I agree.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'll join you sometime. Shoot. As long as I don't stay up too late the night
Deidre says, good reminder.
or something.
That's my problem. I'm usually going, oh crap, man, I got an hour to be on. I got to rush around and get something made, coffee and everything else.
I need my coffee.
Deidre, good. Dude, I'm drinking it tonight, man. I'm drinking my Death Wish coffee tonight. It's a berry vanilla blend. Oh,
Ooh,
stuff is
good.
killing. My daughter is slaying that.
Oh man, I had my Tactus Squatch coffee this morning. It was so good. Oh my god, such good stuff. Maureen sent me some actually. Thank you, Maureen. It's good.
Make sure I'm not missing another question.
I don't know if I can get my day going without my coffee every morning. I grew up. My dad always told me I was a Welsh Viking. He was like, "Our family's Welsh Vikings, Jessica." I was like, "How does that work?" But it turns out there's Vikings everywhere. So, yeah.
Freaking William. Well, you got to
that caramel
think how
chocolate is
much-
my favorite. Yeah.
I have a weak spot for it too. You got to consider though how much of the world, and we're talking United States as well, that the Vikinger had conquered. There was a Native American tribe known as being white Native Americans with long flowing red hair and red beards that were ferocious in battle. That describes Vikinger to a T. You know, in fact, the only story in the Newfoundland that I found that Vikings were ran out of Newfoundland was under a hail of arrows by what they call Skraelings. They described them as tall, hairy people, and they literally ran from them from under a hail of arrows, which to me screams Bigfoot. Bigfoot ran the Vikings out, which if any of them could, daggone Bigfoot can do it. So,
Yeah.
Carl, hey Carl, the girl, I'm a Cajun Irish, more Irish than blood. Hey, Cajun, I can't say what I want to because my buddy's from Nylons, and he'll tell you straight up what he's called, but I'll get in trouble on YouTube for that. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm not missing any questions here before I get onto these. This chat's flowing. You guys are awesome. I'll tell you what, man, I am. Heck yeah. Whole reality, you're in Newfoundland? Oh, buddy. Yeah, look up the areas where they're talking about being ran out from the Skraelings reality. You'll be surprised what you'll find there. But I mean, the Vikinger they conquered most of the world, even the unknown world they conquered. So. Yeah. So a lot of people class all these these Norse ones into one called a berserker. Berserker is not an actual correct name. The correct name is berserker, and that's for the bear type. Now, these would put on the bear skins. They would drink the mushroom soup. They would chant. They would dance and transform into a bear. But they were mindless and uncontrollable. In fact, they had to have guards behind them to watch their back because they were battle crazed. They were even known of killing their own people in their battle craze. They had no thought. It was just straight mayhem is what berserkers were. And so even though they were ferocious, they were not nearly as feared as the Ulfanar. The Ulfanar, which is the wolf skin wearers, they would have the same process to transform, but they had cunning, they had skill, they had thought, and they were the most feared amongst the Bear Clan, Boar Clan, and even Raven Clan. Everybody feared the Ulfanar. And a lot of stuff you hear these sagas that people misunderstand and they call them berserker. That's where the misunderstanding of berserker come from, was actually Ulfanar that they were talking about. These guys would go into battle naked. They would come at you with such a ferocity, and then bam, be gone the next second. There's stories, old Saxon and Anglo stories talking about them transforming into these wolves or these bears or these ravens or these boars and attacking them. And these Ulfanars were the ones they feared the most. Ulfanar were some bad dudes. I mean, they would jack your world up, but they had cunning. They thought like a wolf. They hunted like a wolf. They attacked like a wolf. Everything was wolf-like. The bear was more bear-like. The boar was boar-like. The raven was raven-like. All this stuff is deep within these mythologies.
Yeah, they sound scary. To be feared.
So, yeah. So, your berserkers, your Ulfanar, your Boar Clan, Raven Clan, stuff like that, Tanya, is not a bloodline. It's actually a separate group. None of them were liked amongst the common people because of their aggressiveness. They were extremely aggressive. So they lived outside of normal society. They were attached to a jarl or a king and would go into battle for them. But once the battle was done, they were separate from everybody else because they were so wild. I mean, they literally lived as the creatures that they were. That's how they lived.
Yeah, I was just looking it up. I think that my direct grandfather was actually from Normandy. I think it was Rollo of Normandy. I think if that's the same one you were talking about, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
I have
Rollo the
lots of
Betrayer.
grandfathers.
He was a Viking. Oh God, bless America, dude. He was a Vikinger that turned French and married into the French bloodline, and his bloodline ended up becoming the rulers of France. That's why he was known as Rollo the Betrayer, because he betrayed the Vikingers and became a French nobleman.
He probably got him a hot wife, though. Okay, so you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. For that time frame, she was a banger.
He had rule France. It was worth it.
Yeah. He was for his time frame, she was a banger. So,
for that era, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Exactly. For entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, YouTube. How many times did we say that on my show last night? Boy, we were talking about
my
the kittens and
Lord.
stuff.
We
I had to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Zinja, actually, right. I mean, red-headed giants are not just in Ireland, though. They're all over the world. The Paiute people here in the United States was talking about, hey, David, was talking about red-headed giants that they trapped in a cave and burnt alive because they were eating too many of the people. The Navajo, the Dinesh, talk about the Anasazi. And the Anasazi, if I remember, was it the Anasazi? I think it was the Anasazi that was this type of peoples as well. Anyways, they were told they came from a different place and said that they're stronger than any gods they believe, that you need to worship them. These stories are throughout Native American history and throughout the world's history of these types of red-haired giants, which a lot of people associate them with Nephilim. There's a difference. There is different types of giants. Nephilim is not the only type of giant. They were just they were just offspring of the fallen angels, or not the fallen angel. I'm sorry, the Watchers. They were the offspring of the Watchers. And guys, I'm just gonna let you talk. I'll be right back. Boar's at the door whining, wanting out. He's gonna be disturbing the show.
Well, I was just over here petting my dog, actually. So this is Freya. Okay. So this is Freya, everybody. This is her debut on the Bizarre and the Unknown tonight. She is a German Shepherd, not a werewolf. I don't know. I haven't seen her turn yet. Okay, so, but yeah, she's a good girl. She went for a long ride with me today. As a matter of fact, this is my werewolf right here.
So, heck yeah. Little Freya. Freya, there was one of the most beautiful goddesses. She was a Vanir. In Norse mythology, you have the Aesir. Yeah. A lot of people don't know in Norse mythology, there's two types of gods. There's the Aesir and the Volnir. Now, your Norse, your Danes, your Swedes, all of them are a Germanic tribe. That's why the languages and the customs and the beliefs are very similar, is because they're all from Germania. Okay. And that's where they believe when they separated and went to Sweden, went to Daneland, went to Norway and stuff like that, that is where you get the Aesir and the Volnirs, because before they were more on the Volnir side, which was gods and goddesses of nature, where the Aesir were the gods and goddesses of war. And that's where you get the two separations.
Well, Freya is the goddess of war over here. She'd go to battle for me, for sure.
Yeah. So I got bored good earlier. Had my coat on, had my hoodie up, covering my eyes, and he didn't see me come from around the house because I was heading out to get some wood. Oh, he was going nuts, and I was like, I was just going after him, and I was like, and he's like, Oh crap! It's you, Dad.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't play with my dog like that because she might charge. Okay, like I don't know. We put her in training when she was a little puppy when I first got her, and she went to like all the special training. She knows commands. She knows what to do. Okay, and but yeah, it's been a while, but she knows what to do, and I don't play. I know better than to play with my dog like that. Okay, I'd be scared too. I don't ever.
I wait until I know it's like. Usually when I see that telltale sign that, oh crap, okay, he's about to get pissy, that's when I was like, it's just me. And he'd be like, oh, you dick. You know, he'd come after. And it's all loving time. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Freya don't
but
play
these
that.
things, I mean, no, but these Ulfanar, these Berserkers and them, same concept. You have to wear a pelt, usually the skin. You have to drink a mushroom mixed, I just brain farted, potion. And you had to have a certain dance and chant to go with it. Now, I've always been under the theory is because that's not actually known as fact. That's the leading theory of how they did it. How the true transformation was never written down. So nobody knows the actual true transformation to turn themselves in from humans to wolf, bear, whatever it is. But a dance and a chant is one of the most common things amongst the two leading theories into it. Some believe that they can just cyclically get themselves into it and become it, which was one of the things I had to learn how to control when I was controlling my anger was if I got to a certain point, like when certain things happened to somebody I liked and it would push me to that edge, I would lose all thought. I don't remember anything that happened. And by the time I come off of it, I'm usually going, what the hell just happened here? And somebody's telling me what happened. That's why I've always wondered, and I've learned on the side of it, is I think it's actually more of a mental battle state more than taking a potion. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, that's true. You know what? I actually had my good friend Tom Springer on my show a while back. William's good friends with him too, and Tom is a sniper in the military, and he was telling us on my show. We talked about the Cheyenne Dogmen actually, and we were talking about Berserkers as well, and he told our audience that night about how he actually had to go into hand-to-hand combat. Okay, just to fight for his life at some point. And he said that he doesn't remember anything, that he just blacked out, and he went into like a berserker mode is what he did. And it was violent beyond any comprehension. But it was your body, you do that, you switch into beast mode, animalistic mode, the animalistic part of your brain comes forward, I guess, and takes over, and you don't remember a whole lot, I guess. But it's just like with those things that we talked about last night, the shape, I don't say, I guess they are kind of shapeshifters, but those soldiers in that hybrid program we talked about last night, they part of the reason that they were asking Congress to change that funding so they could eliminate the assets is because they became uncontrollable to the handlers because the beast side had taken over.
Yeah. And the thing was about me, I'm a firm believer that you're not just one all the time, because prior to going into the Marine Corps, I was more of a berserker, if we're putting it on that level, than I was an Ulfanar, because of how my mindset was and the fact that I had no recollection. I didn't do nothing what's going on. The Marine Corps taught me how to channel that and to use it. And I started remembering things when I would get into that mindset. So I've always been under the thought process that maybe you can go from one to another. And I believe I have actually found one saga before. It talks about one being a berserker one time and then becoming an Ulfanar. But I can't find it again, so I can't back up that. It was just something I remember reading and some research that I'd done. And I know it resonated with me because I was that way. Because before the Marine Corps, I was one way. After the Marine Corps, I was another. I could focus. I could think. the best way I can describe it for me. Once I learned how to channel it, I could smell things more clear than I used to. I could see better than I used to. Things caught my attention better. My adrenaline was 90-0. I didn't get tired as easily as I did before. That was what it was like for me when I got into that mindset. And I've learned how to control it where it doesn't release like it used to. So going from untrained to trained, I'm wondering if it's the same. I could be wrong.
You know what I wonder is that, I know y'all got a lot of, injections and stuff, and you probably didn't even know what they were injecting you with. What if they put lion DNA in all of you guys, and dog DNA? I mean, or wolf, excuse me, not just dog, but like wolf, lion, bear. What if you did get injected with all that and it did heighten up your senses? They said that the lion component that they were putting in these super soldiers enabled them to jump into trees with no problem, like leap into trees from the ground up into a tree and stuff. So you never know. You never know what you got pumping through your veins right now.
No,
yeah.
It's like we talked about last night. Once you sign that dotted line, man, you're a guinea pig. You're whatever. You have no life. You are a property of the government.
Yeah. Which is pretty interesting, but yeah, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is just theories from my personal experiences. I've not found anything in history to back up besides that one thing, and I can't claim it backs it up because, like I said, I can't find it no more. I don't know where it went, and that computer is completely locked up, and I can't get into it no more. In fact, I was so mad at it because it did that, and I took it to somebody, and they said they can't get into it without a certain deal that I did not have, so I got mad, and a 12 gauge got introduced to it.
Oh, God.
So even if I wanted to now.
Target practice?
It was. Hey, it's a free target, man.
That's one way to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah. One of the last ones I want to talk about, and I didn't have notes on this because we're all kind of familiar with this one, is the SW. Now, I've said the name too much. That's why I'm saying SW now, because I'm not as powerful as like William is. I don't have the abilities that William has, so William can say it more freely, and I cannot. That's why after a certain amount of times, I say the SW. And this is what these are, the SWs. These are this is a Navajo shapeshifter, but it's also known throughout a lot of other Native American ones as well. So that one was Navajo. They're witches.
We got them here in Georgia, too. Cherokee.
Yep.
I've experienced one myself, actually, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I had one that snuck into our camp one night up in North Carolina. And Will, a gentleman that I had just been introduced to that weekend, one of the elders, Cherokee, he started yelling at it. Whatever it was behind me, of course. It was right behind me, coming up the back of the mountain. He started yelling in this old ancient dialect of like Cherokee dialect. He said that not many people even know that dialect. He was like, I'm one of the only ones. That's what he was telling me. And something I don't know if I can disclose exactly how he knew that was a S Walker or how it became an S Walker, but he told me all about it. He knew. And he said that, that he had been following him around everywhere he goes. And he likes to sneak up on him at night, he said. So I didn't sleep well that night in my tent, by the way.
I don't blame you. I don't know if I could have. I'd been on guard.
It was rough. It was a little rough.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some weird stuff. Like, I mean, in the military, I've been all over this world. I've experienced old magic and tied to lands all around this world, creatures, supernatural, paranormal stuff from all over this world. And there's times that I've been laying out at night in the field going, we're not alone here. I mean, we're not alone here. And I didn't get much sleep because I kept everything close at hand because, like, man, if I got to go into that mindset, then I want to be ready. And if I sleep, this damn thing's going to get me. So, I used to literally sleep with my eyes open. I can't do it no more, but I fell asleep standing straight up before my eyes opened.
Oh my gosh. Well, I like to go out in the middle of the woods, miles into the forest, and sleep in a hammock sometimes, with a couple people, which is extremely stupid. But I do it. It's what life's all about. And hopefully one person will be able to stay awake while the rest of us sleep, and then we take turns.
Yep. Yeah. And William, you're right. I was taught that from a young age. You never whistle at night. Never whistle at night. I was taught that at a very young age. Yeah.
Or in a cave. Cave whistling is bad too. And my buddy decided to go whistle in the cave up in Tennessee when we were doing our S-Walker investigation up there. And what looked like a pill crawler peeked his head out from behind the wall, kind of. So, yeah. Be careful. Don't whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These SWs, so in Native American culture, you have witches and you have medicine men, witches, which is what these SWs are, generally deal with dark magic. How do you get a couple people in your hammock, Jessica?
It's a two-man hammock. I don't get any. I can barely fit in my own hammock. Okay, I'm talking about other people go take their hammocks too. Did I not specify that? I don't take people out in the woods.
I've got a two-man hammock. I got a two-man hammock too, but honestly, I've got it because I can wrap myself up into it, and it protects me from the weather. So I can actually clip it up, so I'm encased in a hammock at night, so the bugs don't get me.
That's how.
Honestly, that's why I got it.
Well, I actually have a mosquito net that goes over my hammock goes inside of it, and I've got a tarp over it, and I barely. I mean, it's pretty tight quarters, even though I have a two-man hammock, but you can't fit two people in that hammock. No way, Jose. But
definitely can't with my big ass.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable either. I'm not a huge fan of hammock camping, but I do it when we're out there looking for dogmen and stuff. It's kind of fun, living on the edge. Dogman burritos.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, man. Yeah. Dogman Bigfoot burritos. I'm a diabetes burrito. One of them eats me. I'm going to be diabetes.
Oh my god! I know. I hope I taste bad, so they will just leave me alone. Just go away.
Zinja, yeah, it's bad luck, but that's because you'll attract something you don't want to attract. That's why they tell you not to whistle at night. There's ancient, old, evil, supernatural things out there that you whistle at night. It attracts them. You attract them to you, and you disappear.
Yeah, I go out in the Appalachians. The Appalachians is the place where you don't whistle at night. I've always been told that. Yeah. Mosquito nets are good. Yeah. They also will make you feel trapped too. I'm not a fan of them either. Can't win out there. When you're out in the woods, it's hot and uncomfortable. And net or no net, I don't know. I'd rather not have a net actually, so I could get up and run if I have to. You got a mosquito net, you're screwed. If you got to get up and run in the middle of the night. So.
Yeah. I mean, I used them a lot in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
If I knew I was going to stay a solid night's sleep in the Marine Corps, I've used ARC because we got issued mosquito netting in the Corps with our shelter halves. I've used them. But if it's a night that I know I'm going to possibly get up and go somewhere, I didn't use it because of what you just said right there. You got to fight that damn thing to get out of it.
Exactly. And if you're in a rush to get out of there, you're screwed. Unless you can cut it or something. I know it sounds weird. I know I put myself in a really bad
never whistle aboard a ship. Heck yeah. Jessica, the burrito huntress.
The burrito. Jessica enchilada. Yeah. The cryptid enchilada.
Dang. Yeah. I think I'm caught up. Yeah, good. Okay. There ain't no questions in there. These SWs, they're not friendly, man. And once again, you got potions involved. You got chants involved. You've got pelts involved. Pelts is skins, by the way. For those who don't know hillbilly, pelts are skins. So you got pelts involved, and you got symbolism, and you got all this other stuff, which, William is an excellent resource when it comes to SWs. He can tell you a lot more than I can about it, but this is yet again, this is on a Native American. You can see how we went full circle around this world with all these different shapeshifters from around the world, all the way back here to the U.S. And this same. Everything's the same. It's all dealing with magic. It's all unnatural. And that's why when people say, I talked about this on your show last night. People's like, well, I just don't think it's possible, because the body would go through, it would tear itself up from the transformation, because you're thinking on the level of science. You're not thinking on the level of dark magic. Dark magic throws science out of the water. It is not the same. It's a completely different entity than science. And you have to factor that in.
Yeah. And also some of the experiences that I've even had too are like in an astral sense as well, like in your astral body too. Like when I woke up and I've had like ETs in my bedroom, for instance. What if like those ETs are sitting there, like my son's not waking up, my dogs aren't waking up, nobody's alerting to it. And but there's 2 or 3 aliens in my bedroom. Okay. And I'm like, why is nobody waking up to this? Why am I the only one seeing it? Well, maybe it's because I was actually in their world. I was in their realm, but they were in my bedroom, but it was just like a dimension above or a dimension below. I don't know. And and so it was just a little bit like I was in my dream body, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could be. So factor all that in too.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, and this stuff we don't know. Unless you're someone who actually does it, we can only speculate. This is the stories that's passed down. This is the only knowledge we have. I personally don't think I've ever transformed. Not physically. Mentally, yes, I've transformed into something different. Never got told I transformed anything physically. So, it's a completely different beast. We have to go off of what we're reading from people who's done it.
Yeah.
Barry, come on, there it goes. Barry says, dark magic can change your reality from human to and beast. It can. And anytime you use dark magic takes a part from you. I've literally seen it with my own family that practice dark magic. And I described it this way on Jessica's show last night. It's like seeing somebody pre-meth versus somebody who's been on meth. And dark magic does that.
This is your brain on drugs. Frank. Oh, man. Wow.
This is William says, dark magic can lay dormant for years inside us until one day you snap. Yeah. Wow. A lot like with my, whatever you want to call it, battle rage, whatever it is you want to call it, it's the same way. I can be calm as a cucumber every single day of my life. One thing, you mess with my family or my friends the wrong way, just that one thing can instantly, not how I call it is, I let the beast out. I have the beast contained, and every now and then that beast rattles, and I can feel it wanting to come out. It's telling me, let me loose, let me loose, let me loose. A lot like in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen movie, when Hyde was trying to get Dr. Jekyll to let him out. That is one of the best ways I can describe what it's like for me when that part of me wants to come out, because I'm seeing shit that's pissing me off. People doing something to somebody else that's wrong, or doing something to an animal that's wrong. And that beast, it starts talking. It's like, let me out. You want to, you miss this adrenaline, because it's an addiction. When you get that adrenaline and you get that battle rage building up inside of you, man, it's addictive. You become something different. You become something more.
Beast mode.
And it is. It's exhilarating. It's freeing. It's beautiful, but it's chaos. So you have to learn to contain that beast within inside of you and only let him out at certain times, which is what the Marine Corps helped me to do. But I see stuff like that, and all of a sudden, that beast, it gets to crawl on, and it nags and it nags, and I have the altercation going in my head. No, I can't let you out. You want to let me out? No, I can't let you out. This is what literally goes on, and all it takes is one thing. One thing. Last time it happened is when somebody done something to my kids. I lost control. So
Your body is a
yes,
container for all
exactly.
that magic there. You're,
Mm.
yeah. Wow.
William says, burn some sage.
Me? Do I need to right now? I do.
thinking
I burn
so.
sage pretty often. I burn sage pretty
Mhm.
often. I do. I've got Palo Santo and sage and all that.
That is, Barry, that's a good question. And we kind of hinted a little bit on that last night, as werewolves are sleeper cells. There's plenty of stories out there talking about, and the government says that magically created werewolves are easier to control because they keep a lot of their humanity within them, where a natural born werewolf, i.e., Dogman, is uncontrollable because they can't keep, they're too animalistic. I wouldn't doubt it if they're used as sleeper cells. I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, we talked about that last night with the whole animal human hybrid programs that our military allegedly is using, and they created them, and then they wanted to exterminate them all because it got so out of hand with the program where they couldn't control them anymore. So, of course they're going to use them. They're going to weaponize whatever they can, right?
Yep. Corey, yes, it starts out as a vibration, and then you feel your whole body and soul kind of reverberate, and it's a fight, and literally you are fighting to control that beast that's within. You're trying not to feed that black wolf inside of you. I mean, I say it all the time. There's the black wolf and the white wolf inside you. This is an old Native American proverb. You can't starve either one of them out. You have to feed one more than the other. Which one you decide to feed is which one decides to manifest itself inside of you. It's like that.
Have you ever seen that video? You know that video where there's like a guy who's getting jumped on the street, and it's nighttime, and he's getting jumped. Some guy like tries to knock him out, and like this black entity comes out of him, like a shadowy entity, like protrudes out of his body and starts beating up the guy who was like robbing him. Have you seen that? It's kind of reminding me of that right now.
I think I have, but I'd have to watch it again. That sounds familiar.
I'll find it. I'll send it to you. I can find it. It's online somewhere, but it's one of the best. It's one of the best videos of like something that just kind of comes out of that dude to protect him. It's like what is that, Venom or something? Like Venom, even though that's black goo, I think, or something. But this was like an actual shadow entity that like came out of him and attacked the attacker.
Yeah. Amy, that wouldn't be Freemasons and Eastern Star. I'm a Freemason. I'm a Master Mason. I'm a past master of my lodge. It has nothing to do with that. That's something completely different when it comes to that. Don't believe all the hype you hear on the interweb about Masons. I can tell you 98% of it is horse crap. Brother William's a Master Mason too, fellow past master, same as I am. And most of the people I know in Masonry, even my family, are the same as me. We love the truth. We don't give if the government's not doing what they're supposed to do, we're going to speak up about it. We're about the people. So, no, Freemasonry wouldn't have anything to do with that. There's another comment here I missed. I'm trying to find it. Forgive me, guys. This chat's flowing great today. I love it. Yes. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Yes, Roxanne. You can see the beast within the eyes. When I get to that mindset, that's what I've been told, that not only does my physical appearance does change a little, not transform completely, but I change. My veins pop out more, my muscles pop out more, my eyes become different, my mindset, my look, everything about me changes when I get into that battle mode. It's a polite way of me. That's what I call it, being politely, is a battle mode. That's what it's like. It's not the same as these guys. I mean, these things here, as soon as it loads up, I'm sorry. My computer these types of transformations is completely different than what I deal with. I'm not on the level as my ancestors are. Do I think that it can be passed down the bloodline to a degree? Possibly, because if one of these entities has offspring and they have that within them, it's only scientifically feasible that it could in that way transfer. Now, as far as being straight bloodline, say, me and Jessica are cousins. Her side of the family never had berserkers, Ulfanar, or anything like that in them. So she can't do that. Where my side did, and I can. That's what I mean by passed down. It's not bloodline related, as in not everybody in the bloodline can do it, but only certain ones directly affected from a member who was a part of it, I would say is probably a good possibility. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's funny. We might be cousins. That's first of all.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's wild to think that like some of us may be descendants of werewolves and things like that. It's wild. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever changed into anything. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I love it. Yeah. It's a great conversation about it. And I think that some people do. And I'm sure that there are plenty of bloodlines. I mean, we got reptilian bloodlines, right? All the royalty and stuff. We got the look at all family. So
Native American, I've sent you news articles actually from the Library of Congress talking about this, but another example is, Shiatonka, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, whatever it is, you booger, whatever it is you want to call them. They've been known to steal humans for mating purposes. And it is as a result of some of these, which I don't have it pulled up. I've got some photos on here, but it's on my external. They look very human-like. And when I done the Neanderthal show, I kind of hinted at two things. Are we looking at a cross species, a hybrid species between Shiatonka and humans, is why you get that more humanistic one? Or because of recent studies, and scientists have came out and said they're completely wrong about Neanderthal, that we're looking at the last remnants of Neanderthal. And those type of Bigfoot are the last remnants of Neanderthal. I think it's probably a little bit of both. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think you could be right. I think so too. And I got to go hang out with, I guess I went to the East Alabama Bigfoot Town Hall last year. I spoke at the one this year, but last year's MK Davis was there. He's a great researcher. And he was talking about, there's different types of Bigfoots. Okay. There's like 4 different categories basically. I'm sure there's way more, but like for educational purposes, I guess, like we kind of divide them into 4 different categories. And the type 4 Sasquatch are like Neanderthals. And they do look like cavemen. They just look like big, hairy kind of men, I guess. But MK was saying that, through the DNA samples and things like that, even the patty type is like the mother side is the mitochondrial DNA is human. Okay. And then the father side is something other. They don't know what it is. Okay. So it's something totally different. Yeah. So it is a product of human and something other procreating. Okay. Some of those, but now like the type 4, those could be Neanderthals. I mean, they could be, but I mean, who knows until you get some kind of sample and, some kind of genetic testing. I guess you don't know. We won't know.
No. Honest, you're 100% correct on this. That's why the church bells were removed. I hate this term. I really do. So forgive me, but I say it because this is what people associate it with, but I hate it because it's a derogatory term. Paganisms. Pagans would use these frequencies to ward off spirits to heal. That's what the bells were for. And then the churches adapted that into their deal. But yes, it was used to ward off spirits, evil spirits. So.
Is that a derogatory term? I didn't know that.
Yes. The word paganism comes from the Catholic Church to describe somebody that does not believe in the same way that they do. It came from the Roman Catholic religion. It is actually a derogatory term. So I prefer the old way. Yeah, I prefer the term the old ways, but everybody and their brothers on paganism nowadays. So hate that term, but I have to use it because that's what everybody's associated with.
The more you know.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, we got 6 minutes left, and I'm pretty sure DA is going to have a show coming on here in a little bit. Unless has it changed, Roxanne? I can't remember. Are you still doing his tales, ain't he? His reading his book tonight. Does cocoa powder protect against evil? I don't know for sure. You want sea salt and wrought iron. That is the most common one to protect yourself against evil spirits. I'm not sure about cocoa powder. I will have to look that up, Zinja. I've not seen that, but I could be wrong. Hey, Scott.
That's cool.
I'm waiting for that to pop up here. Okay, DA doesn't have a show tonight. Thank you, Dawn. Hey, don't forget to message me about what we talked about, Dawn, last night. So that's great. So we don't have to worry about overlapping with this. So you got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about? We can go a little bit longer tonight if you want.
Oh no, this is always fun. Like I actually learned something new. When you said silkies, I think I was thinking kelpies earlier, and so
horse, yep.
I learned something new tonight. I totally learned something new, and I wasn't super familiar with the seal mermaids. I think we might have talked about them a while back when you and I did a show together over here, talking about those. Maybe we talked about kelpies back then, but yeah, no. I mean, I talk about shapeshifters pretty often, and because they're just. People are encountering shapeshifters. I mean, there's actually a shapeshifting account that I took as an investigator out in the field about 2 or 3 years ago. I got called into a state park here in Georgia. And if we got a second, I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, go for it. You got plenty of time. I just remembered something.
Okay. I got called into a state park that was over in the eastern side of the state. I live over in the western side of the state. This was over in the eastern side. It was actually in the area where the Georgia Guidestones were located. And this guy kept contacting me, and he was saying, I keep getting all these Bigfoot reports at my park, and I'm having to write up all these reports and send them to the governor's office, and everybody's making fun of me. And I was like, okay, well, I don't just take my team out for anything, you know what I mean? So they got some Bigfoot reports. That's cool. We could have put it on the back burner. And I said, I'll come out there when I can sometime and maybe bring a couple of my guys. And so he just kept contacting me, and he was like, we're having more sightings. And finally, this is before the Georgia Guidestones got blown up. Okay. So this is the month or two before that happened. And so finally, he contacted me out of the blue and was like, look, I really need you to come out here. Somebody died because of a Bigfoot last night, is what he told me. And I was like, all right, well, you got my attention now. So I called up 2 of my guys. Well, 3 of us, actually, 4 of us total went out there, and we spent the weekend. We camped out at the park. And the guy gave us a complete tour of the entire park and showed us exactly where all the encounters had been. And one of them really caught my attention because it was just really odd. And at the time, I had never heard anybody else with this. Hold on one moment, please.
Yep.
Okay. So it's something that I had never heard of before. It had to do with a shapeshifter. Okay. An animal shapeshifter. And so he told me that there were 2 couples, 2 men, 2 women, and they both had tents over at the campground. Or RVs. I think he said tents. So they were at the primitive camping area at this park. And he said that they were walking through a trail and late at night. And 2 of them were in the front, and then 2 of them were behind, 20 feet or something. I mean, a good distance behind. But they were in the sight of each other, of course, but it was dark. He said that something jumped out of a tree in front of the people in the front. And he said that they described it. The 2 people in the front described it as like a 7 to 9 foot tall Bigfoot, that it jumped down from the tree and it landed on the ground. And it said that they scared them so bad, they just took off running, and they passed the 2 people that were behind them. And the 2 people that were behind them stopped, and they kind of went forward, and all they saw was a squirrel on the ground, a 7-inch squirrel compared to a 7 foot tall Bigfoot. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And I was like, man, this is so weird. And then fast forward a few years, a few years, and I'm getting reports of people talking about squirrels that are shapeshifting into Sasquatches. And I had not ever repeated that because a lot of the investigations that we take, we don't talk about it publicly. It's not public knowledge. Okay. And we do these reports as a team, and we just don't talk about it publicly. So I thought it was really interesting that I was getting reports of people claiming that squirrels were shapeshifting into Bigfoots, or Bigfoots were shapeshifting into squirrels. So
well, and the thing is, though, Native Americans talk about having the ability to do that outside of being an SW. They can transform into different animals. There's plenty of Native American stories talking about that. And if you study Native American lore about Shiatonka, we learned from them, and they learned from us. So if our ancestors had the ability to do it, it would not be far fetched to say that Sasquatch would have that ability as well. I can see that definitely being in the realm of possibility.
Well, according to this gentleman, this fine park ranger, he told me, I believed him. I believe it. But then again, it's like the report of the person who died there at the park, his report conflicted with the coroner's report. So there was something somewhere in between. Things got a little skewed, and it was a gray area. And I don't know. I still am scratching my head over the whole thing. I'm still scratching my head because I believe him. I believe him. I believe that people really believe they had seen Bigfoot and stuff, but it's just with the whole death thing, and then the reports from the park rangers not lining up with the coroner. And I'm not talking about just like the way they died. I'm talking about like the entire thing was completely different. Like he told me it was like an old man and his wife in a cabin, and the man freaked out. He had a heart attack because there was a Bigfoot looking in his window, and he started screaming, and he had a heart attack. Well, the coroner says no, it was actually a drug overdose, and it was a young woman and two of her guy friends in the cabin. So like, what is that about? Yeah.
Did you cross paperwork up, or are you trying to hide something here?
Something's
Which is
off. Yeah, something's off here. And so, but I was curious as to like other investigators, have they ever had that happen too? Or like there's been somebody that claimed that a Bigfoot was involved in like a death, but then the coroner's report says something completely different. Is there a cover up? Probably.
Oh yeah, I mean, we see that all the time. I mean, the reports you talked about last night, the one I shared here with that Amazon driver that happened, not far from me. Yeah, I mean, they cover stuff up. So I mean,
well, it wasn't like a violent death. It wasn't like somebody got slashed and was found in a tree or something like that. It was like this man died of a heart attack, and that's what. I mean, why would anybody just make that up though? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just all weird.
Believe it, there's been plenty of stories of people being so scared that that's actually happened. So I mean, that is definitely in that realm of possibility. I mean, honestly, especially if you grew up believing these things ain't real, and then all of a sudden you see one for the first time, and you're at that age, and your ticker's a little weak because you're at that age. That's definitely in the realm of possibility of happening. I mean, it can happen with that, or just happen with anything in general with that way. So, oops, gosh dang it, right. This one keeps jumping around here. Sorry about that. There it goes. Quit jumping around on me. Anything can happen. Anything can and will happen in this world that can be explained. That's no joke, Roxanne. That's no joke. Everything that is supernatural is always monitored by government. Yeah, I believe quite a bit of it is, Sinja. I believe there's a lot of it I believe that isn't, but I have a lot of it that is as well too. I mean, it's like we were talking about last night with the super soldiers. We as human beings are got so much greed within inside of us that we want the next biggest, strongest, best thing. So if something like that happens, powers to be is going to gravitate towards that because they want to use that to weaponize it. Sadly, it's true. So, Caleb says the 25th degree, the conspiracy is responsible for conferring the 19th through the 32nd degrees. Huh. Yeah, my great grandfather was a 32nd degree Yorkite Master Mason. But people are misunderstood. 32nd is not the highest degree. The highest degree you can reach is what I am, a 3rd degree, a Master Mason. You got further education is where the 32nd, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, all that comes in. That's a big misconception. So, Corey says, I believe I'll have another beer. Yeah, I might have to have a snort or something tonight too myself. I had to refill my glass for my fallen brothers and sisters again last night. I had to fill it last time I was on with Jessica and Barry.
Yeah.
I had to top it off, and it was almost empty last night when I got off the show. I looked up, went, oh crap, and had to pick it down and refill it up again for my fallen. I always keep a drink for my brothers and sisters close at hand. My fallen brothers and sisters. I always keep that close at hand. It's all right. Some of it's already missing out of it too. I just looked up and noticed I can't show it on live, but I just have to look up. Some of it's already missing from when I filled it up last night.
I had to ask you last night. I was like, are you sure your cat's not drinking that?
Yeah. That would be funny as hell. I mean, I used to have a Great Dane dog that I rescued.
Yeah.
He would get mad as hell if I cracked open a beer and I didn't have one for him. He would sit there and growl at me. He'd pick his bowl up, set it down next to me, and growl until I poured him one. I had to pour him one as well.
He didn't want to get left out.
So, yeah. No, he was that way. I loved that dog. He was a good dog. Exactly. That's 100. Anybody that's a vet knows what I'm talking about. 100 there. Honor the fallen. Until Valhalla. Honor the fallen. And then once you go to Valhalla, then someone honors you. So, but that was, man, this has been a great show. Anybody got any final thoughts for us before we get ready to close her down? Eric, 54 out of 57 founding fathers were Masons. Exactly. Yeah, they were. You're right. Question: can you explain that again? The highest degree in Masonry is 3rd degree Master Mason. That is the highest degree. There is nothing higher than 33rd. There is further education. There's nothing higher than 3rd degree, which is what I am. That is a very big misconception on the internet.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I thought that was always like 33rd degree is the highest.
No.
I don't know anything about it though.
Yeah. Del Valhalla. That's right, Mary. So at the end of this show, as we get ready to wind down, the first part of the closing, I wrote this poem that I like to read at the end of this show. And it goes, there comes a time when a warrior falls. They leave this realm and will be missed by all. Raise a glass and keep them in your heart. They have kept this realm safe and performed their part. Look to your veterans, your active duty, your EMTs, and the blue line. What they do or have done was walk that fine line. When the demon comes calling on your soul, they will be there to save us all. Hold them in your prayers, for they are deserving. They all have served or are serving. Everybody, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Jessica, it's always an honor having you on. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Man,
I love it. It's fun.
It's always a rocking moment when you're on with me. We always have a good time on your show or mine. We always do.
We do. Thank you so much.
To all my new subscribers, thank you so much. From my new subscribers to my OGs, you guys rock. You guys are awesome. I'm very appreciative. Everybody sent me a super sticker tonight. Man, you guys are badass. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you all.
You guys rock. You really. It was, man. That is very humbling, and I appreciate every bit of that. I should be putting reintroducing part 1 of the paranormal investigation of the Springfield Commercial Club soon. And I'll get that video from you when you get it done with the remote view, and I'll add that to part 2. So you'll be on part 2 Jessica.
Okay. I'll get it to you. I promise.
No worries. So that should be coming soon. I finished chapter 13 last night of Beast of the Ozarks Part 1 First Kill. If you are not a member of my Patreon and you want to be an INYAR reader, that's someone who reads my books before they go out. It's $10 to do it. And the reason why I do it that way, I want people who are serious about giving me truthful feedback on my writings and how the book is going. Right now, Griff's the one I got. He's been instrumental in helping me on that. He's really excited about this book. So I did finish that last night. I'll do some more work on it tonight. Outside of that, man, you guys be safe out there. We got the weather coming in. I'll be having Ryan Tremblay on with me next week. We're going to be talking about the Gugwe next Sunday. He wasn't able to make it tonight, but he will be a special guest next week when we talk about the Gugwe. William will be having a show most likely Wednesday night with Ryan Paul Tremblay. Saturday and Sunday, we don't know for sure yet, but William will let us know in his Weirdo Warriors chat if he does. I think that is all that I can think of. You got anything you need to add? You got anything going on your side?
Oh my God, I've always got something going on, Eric. Shoot. Yeah, I got a show tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you guys want to come hang out over at the Cryptid Huntress channel this week. I've always got I got 4 live shows a week every Monday and Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's my remote viewing show. And then every Saturday night, like we had last night. Thank you for coming on with me last night and being my guest. That was fun. We always have a good time. So, yeah, y'all come see me. I'm always on the internet. I'm always on YouTube.
So with that being said, y'all, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. And until next time.
Bye.
Peace, love, and blessings, everyone.